Welcome to Bedtime History. Tonight we're going to learn about one of the greatest presidents in American history. Although he started out with very little and had a very hard childhood, he worked very hard to become the most powerful man in the United States of America. This is the story of Abraham Lincoln. Abraham was born in Kentucky to parents who were very poor at the time. They lived very far out in the middle of the woods, in a very small log cabin his father had built. The woods were full of wild animals, and no one else lived nearby. Every night, Abe and his family slept on a hard, dirt floor. When Abe was old enough to work, every day he and his father, Thomas, ate a small breakfast, picked up their axes, and ventured off into the thick woods to chop down trees to make the land flat for farming. It was very hard work, and they spent all day doing this. Abe became very strong chopping wood. He also began to grow very tall for his age, so much that his pants became too small because his parents couldn't afford to buy him new ones. Some people thought he looked funny, being so tall and skinny, but they liked Abe because he was kind and funny. Where Abe lived, there wasn't a school, so most days he just worked. For a short time, there was a teacher a few miles away, so Abraham did learn a little, but mostly just enough to read and write. Once Abe learned to read, it became his favorite thing to do. He only had a couple books, but he spent any free time he had reading. When he learned something new, he would repeat the words over and over until he knew them by memory. He would also write the words down. This helped him remember them to use later. After the land had been cleared of trees, Abe and his father started farming. Most days, he'd take a book out to the field and read in between planting. His mother Nancy taught him that learning was very important, even though she couldn't read herself. She taught him this from a very young age. Abe loved his mother very much. When Abe was 9, many people in the area became sick from cow's milk that had become poisoned. Abe's mother also became sick, and not long afterward died. He and his family were very sad. Not long after this, his father left him and his sister for 9 months while he went to find a new wife. Can you imagine being left alone for that long? Somehow Abraham survived, getting help from caring neighbors. Eventually his father returned with their new mother named Sarah. When Abe saw her coming, he ran and hugged her, even though he didn't know her. He was just happy to have a mother again. Sarah turned out to be a very good mother to Abe. She found him new books to read and was kind to him. This shows how important mothers are. Abe's father Thomas was hard on him at times, but he was also known by many to be a very good storyteller. This is a talent Abe picked up and was known for later in his life. Once Abraham was old enough to be on his own, he left home and started working for himself. He knew that by working hard, he could make a life for himself. He had a job moving goods down the river, then later worked in a store. Once while working in the store, someone paid the wrong amount of money. That night, Abe walked very, very far to return them the money. This is where he got his nickname, Honest Abe. Honesty means telling the truth and doing the right thing to others. One day in town, Abe went to the courthouse and saw a lawyer arguing a case. A lawyer is someone who helps defend others when they need something. They understand the law of where they live and can help in that way. The law is a set of rules for the area where you live. When Abe heard the lawyer speaking, he decided that is what he wanted to do. Without going to a big school, Abraham read and studied and repeated words on his own until he knew everything he needed to know to become a lawyer. This took him lots of time and practice, but soon he became very smart and understood the law. He passed all the tests he needed to, and before long became a lawyer. He traveled from town to town on his horse, helping others. Even though Abraham grew up very poor, he was able to work hard and study and find a job helping others. Like Abraham, you can learn to work and have a love for learning and reading. Reading can help you learn important things in life. Abe was also honest. He made good choices when it wasn't always easy. Like Abe, you can tell the truth and be kind and help others. Tune into our next episode as we learn how Abe became the most powerful man in America, the President of the United States. If you'd like to learn more about bedtime history, visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/bedtime history. You can also support our podcast by listening to episodes on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Music.